All right, folks, welcome back into another JE Live. Very rare that I do, three streams today? I don't know, I guess we started out so early that ended up being three streams. Probably I would have put out videos and such, but, since we did it at noon, here we are with three streams. A lot of news today. Not great news. To recap, we had the start of this morning. Okay. When I went live in the afternoon, the reason I went live in the afternoon is because I missed my usual post game because I fell asleep after the game. It was pretty late on the East Coast, so fell asleep and made up for that. And then the second live stream was really just a quick hitter about Kendall Blanton getting cut. It shocked me, shocked a lot of Rams fans. So I figured that was noteworthy. And then this third one is about news I got when I was in the theater watching the Dragon Ball Super movie. Okay. So I got home and, wanted to do another live stream. This won't be a quick hitter. This is going to be like, a full on live stream about my thoughts on this. And, it's JE Live. So, feel free to ask any, comments. I like to stick to Rams content because people are going to click on this wanting to get the Rams content. So, I would just ask that you guys, if you're gonna ask questions, make it Rams related. Just for the ones that I want to have strictly Rams centric, if that makes sense. Not trying to be a jerk. I'll try to answer all the questions as always, but you know how it goes. So, yeah. Logan Bruss has torn his ACL and MCL. I figured I'd put ACL in the title because I ran out of room. But he has torn his ACL and MCL. Hate it for him so much. Late third round pick, a guy they were very high on, and I can only imagine how that scout feels because he jumped. He said he would jump in the pool if they drafted him if he fell there. They didn't think he was going to fall that far, so they were ecstatic to get him. And while yes, okay, things were a little bumpy, in his first two preseason games. First off, they were his first two games in the NFL in preseason. Secondly, he was playing next to Bobby Evans. And third, preseason doesn't dictate how you become as a player. And so I think there are a lot of fans that were quick to just have snap judgments about Logan Bruss. Look, I think this is a huge loss. The reason being is he's basically a rookie next season. He doesn't get to really develop. He now has to, have all of that time that he could be spending this year working. And keep in mind, the offensive line, these guys don't get the chance to really work on things like other positions. It's harder to develop offensive linemen. God, there's a spider right over my head. That's why I'm like, what the all right. But yeah, these offensive line doesn't have a chance to develop the way other positions do, and it's unfortunate because now it's like square one. Now you have to start all over again essentially, and a big thing that I brought up with the Cam Akers injury last year is I think, he had things to work on. You talk about the pass pro, you talk about the ball security. Like, he had things to work on, and I'm sure he would have gotten to them, but he tears his Achilles. And now all of a sudden it's about rehab. And that's really the main issue I have with an injury like that is it now becomes a rehab thing, and that is, it just sucks, man. It really does. Sucks for that guy. Sucks for, anybody really involved in that. So, heart goes out to Logan Bruss, really, really bummed about that. We'll be talking about what happens next. A lot of guys that were going to get cut are now, this just became really interesting because unfortunate, God, that thing is going to absolutely jump on me, isn't it? Midstream, it'll just be like, yeah, brutal. Anyway. This is gonna be tough because now in a weird way it does open up spots that you might not have seen in the past. So keep that in mind. It does open up spots that guys may not have been on the roster in the past, and now they're on the roster. So yeah, it is sad news for sure. But it's incredibly interesting now, at least in my mind, because there are guys that weren't going to make this team that now might make this team. So, it's if there's a silver lining, that's probably it, that they are able to keep more guys, but still hate it for him. And, man, I really hate the preseason injuries just make me so sour. I felt bad. Guy in the Panthers, Matt Corral, suffered a Liz Frank injury. He'll miss the entire season. Like, once again, another guy that wasn't going to play. Like, Bruss probably wasn't going to start. Looked like Coleman Shelton pretty much won that right guard job. He had it in the bag. That's not the point. If you don't think that these guys are working on the side, you don't think practice is helping, and you can't develop players that don't play in the actual games, you're not reading the NFL the right way, because that's how things work. And so it really does suck. And yeah, I agree with that, Marv. Brian Allen did the same thing, 2 years ago, was able to come back and, was stronger than ever. And now here he is. People wrote him off, including myself. Here he is now on its second deal, being the starter at center. Was the starter at center for the Super Bowl champion Rams. Now will be the starter at center for the Super Bowl defending Rams. So, yeah, I mean, things kind of evolve, don't they? But, yeah, without a doubt, really unfortunate. And then another bit of news is that we got Daniel Hardy, who suffered a sprained ankle, high ankle sprain. He's going to have to get work done on that. He's not out for the season, but that wasn't a great diagnosis. To hear that, I mean, that did not sound like, the confidence wasn't really there. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we'll get him back in a couple weeks. Like, I didn't really like where that was going. I'm gonna bring it up now. Let's see, where is it? I saw Jordan Rodriguez put it out, and I was like, that doesn't sound good. So let's get this going. All right. Let's see. I'm looking for it. I know. Okay. We'll need a procedure done to repair the high ankle sprain suffered early last night. He'll start the year with an injury designation, but McVay indicated it's not season ending. Like, that's not good. Like, if that, you know what I mean? That doesn't sound like he'll be back that soon. And if he starts on the season the injury list, he'll miss the first 4 games. And when you have, Terrell Lewis on a snap count, with his knee, Justin Hollins tears his pec last year, so he's been hurting recently, right? Then you have, Chris Garrett suffers a soft tissue injury. Leonard Floyd was dealing with some nagging stuff in camp. Where'd the spider go? Anyway, it's not ideal. It's not. So I would not. I know I said it earlier today that I was like, yeah, I like this edge defender class. Like, this is a good group. Now with Daniel Hardy hurt, I would not be surprised if the Rams, potentially look outside the organization and grab somebody. Another thing, I see people are jokingly tweeting at Andrew Whitworth to come back. I'm going to say this. I'm going to remind you this. Andrew Whitworth, whether he was kidding or not, I don't think he was kidding, said that he would come back. He would come and be the guard when there was talk about the Rams going out and getting Trent Williams. If the Rams went out and got Trent Williams before the Niners did, and he said he'd play left tackle and he would move over to guard. Now, the reason I bring that up is because if there was an injury where what you're talking about, Coleman Shelton going down or Edwards, I think Whitworth would come out of retirement. I really think so. Oh, okay. You're really trying to get over here. I don't really have anything to swing at you. That's really obnoxious. You're right. It is Spider-Man. Sheesh. I got like the creeps. Yeah, I hate spiders. Thing is trying to bomb my live stream. No, I'm not touching. Nuh-uh. Nope, not touching it. Anyway, Oh, it's a big deal, man. You don't see it. We've been getting like yellow colored spiders around here lately. Not ideal. Anyway, back to the live stream. So, I wouldn't rule out Whitworth coming back if there's another key injury. But I don't think that this is going to be the thing that puts him over. Because who's he starting over? He's not going to come back to start over Coleman. They like Coleman, you know? But, I don't know. Anyway, thought I had something on my neck. So, all right. We got the 2 injuries. Hell no, I'm not letting that thing touch my Rams helmet. Anyway, got the 2 injuries, right? So, here's the thing. With the 2 injuries, you have the first one. What happens with Bruss, right? What happens with Logan Bruss? What happens with him? Because this is how I had my 53, which will be completely changed. We'll have a video out tomorrow or Monday on the full 53. But with Logan Bruss out, I'll give you a little sneak peek of how I'd go into it. You got Noteboom, Edwards, Allen, Shelton, Havenstein as your starters. So those are your lock it in 5 offensive linemen. Then I had Alaric Jackson making the team, Jeremiah Colon, Logan Bruss, and Tremaine Ankrum. So now the door is opened up. I think A.J. Arcuri would make the team. I think there's a chance that they keep 11. I think there's a chance that Bobby Evans somehow sneaks onto this roster. Unfortunately. I don't think he's very good and has one of the worst. There's a clip that if I made a YouTube short about and I put it as comedy or whatever, people would still want it. Like, they'd want to click on it. It was bad last night. But anyway, that is for Logan Bruss. So the odds are I think this means A.J. Arcuri is going to make the roster. Ankrum can play all the guard spots. Cologne can play guard spots. Edwards can play guard spots. You know, they can mix and match. Jackson was being used as a guard. So I think Arcuri makes it now. He was on the bubble for me. And I had Blanton making it with the tight ends. Now there's 2 tight ends. I had 8 wide receivers. I listed Harris as a receiver. They'll probably look at him as a tight end, essentially. But they'll use him as a wide receiver. Maybe they'll keep Roger Carter. He's still on the roster as well as Jared Pinkney. But Pinkney hasn't played, really. Roger Carter had a touchdown. Who knows? And then offensive or outside linebacker. So you got Floyd, Hollins, Lewis, Garrett, and Hardy. This could mean Benton Whitley makes this team. I told you I've been a fan of his out of Holy Cross. I think he's played well. I think Keir Thomas has played well. And I think Braden Thomas has been playing well. I think all 3 of these guys should stay in the building in some capacity. But I do think that now you can't have 4 outside linebackers. That's not a position that you can be light on. So they're going to keep another guy. They're not going to keep just 4. They're going to keep 5, at least. So what I think this does, and let's make this on the fly here. Let's make this right on the fly. All right. So we got quarterback, we're good. 3. Got 3. Running back, I'm probably going to put Jake Funk in there because I think they're going to keep Jake Funk. Calais and Rose are cut, so we're going to put Jake Funk there. So they'd only be cutting Trey Regis at this point. So that makes sense. Akers, Hendo, Kyron, Funk. Keeping 4. All right, so say that's 7, right? Then you got the numbers game with the wide receivers. And I have them, hopefully they can get Trammell on the practice squad. Maybe they get Landon Akers as well. I have them keeping 8 wide receivers. So that's 8. So altogether, if you're doing the math, that's 15 so far. 2 tight ends. I'm going to say they don't keep another. Blanton's gone, right? So I'm going to say Blanton is gone, and they cut Carter and Pinkney. We'll see what ends up happening with Carter. He might make the roster, but I'm going to go with 2 tight ends here. Then with the Bruss injury, we're going to cut him from the... I mean, not actually cut him, but you know how it is. So he'll go on IR. So notable IR, Logan Bruss, and we'll do Daniel Hardy. So Daniel Hardy and Logan Bruss go on IR. Hardy is designated to return. In all likelihood, he'll return at some point. But Hardy is now not on the roster, so took him off. All right, so we're on the offensive line. We got 7, and then we got 15. All right, so 17 going in the offensive line. We got 17 guys on the roster, so we got to figure this out, right? So the offensive line, you got Noteboom, Edwards, Allen, Shelton, Havenstein. Good. Those are your starting 5. All right. Now you have Jackson, Cologne, and Ankrum. That leaves 8. And then I'm going to say Arcuri. I don't think Bobby Evans is going to make it. It's not that much of a need, in my opinion. So that'll be 9. I still think Bobby Evans gets cut. All right, so that's 9. So, again, if you're doing the math, that's 17 plus 9, so that's 26. So now 26 going into the defensive line. I had them keeping 5 with Donald, Ashawn, Gaines, Copeland, and Hoyt. So I think I might go with adding Williams here. Jonah Williams. That would be 6. So now that would be... So that's 6. So we got 26 here. And then you add 6, so that would be 32. If I'm doing that right. So, yeah, you got... Yep, 32. So 32 going to the outside linebackers. Which, as we just talked about, Daniel Hardy's off the roster. Because he's going on injured list. So you got 4 now. Floyd, Hollins, Lewis, and Garrett. So then I'm going to say Whitley makes the team. But I could see them choosing any of those guys. We're going to go with 5. We're going to cut Keir Thomas and Braden Thomas. Hopefully get him on the practice squad. So, you know, if you're doing the math there, that's 37. And then linebacker, I think, is probably going to stay at 3. So that'll be like 40 there. And then corner, I think it's going to be 6 here. So that would be... Yeah, so corner's going to be 6. So that's 46 there. And then safety, I'm going to say 4. Because I'm going to say they put Lake on the PUP list. So Quentin Lake goes on the PUP list, opens up an opportunity there where they don't have to worry about that. So we keep 4. So if you're doing the math there, that's 50 and then 53. So that is an idea of how I could see the 53. So if you're once again, you want a recap, essentially the bubble guys that have now making it, I put Funk on the 53. I kept McCutcheon Harris. I put Arcuri back on. I put Williams on with Hoyt. I put Benton Whitley. And then that's it. So we'll see. Now I'm going to look at your comments here. Blake, hell, good thing there's some good interior depth. I can't tell if this is sarcastic or not because I feel like everybody hates on the interior depth. Dear God, that thing is staring at me. What's up, Isaac? Yeah, I'm disappointed as well. Same here. Very unfortunate. A Spider-Man. You're working your ass off today, Jake. I try. Yeah, today it definitely feels like it's like a whirlwind, you know? Should have traded Blanton for O-line guy. Think we need help. We'll see. Sean's going to start sending coaches out there in the preseason from now on to prevent injuries. Might as well. It'll make him more hungrier if he gets through this. What do you make of Blanton getting cut, McCutcheon forcing him out, and Harris going to be listed at tight end 3? I think they might just keep 2 tight ends and, like, yeah, like, classify Harris as a tight end, but really use him as a wide receiver. High ankle sprains are terrible. Yeah. You saw it affected Sam Bradford pretty much the entire season in 2011, so, yeah, they're not fun. He did. Bruss tore his ACL. What is the status of Higbee? I mean, he's fine. Like, I didn't, unless you know something I don't, Higbee is not a concern right now. He's pretty much, I mean, he's beyond the lock to make the roster, so. That's the hope, but we'll see. Said no one ever. Come on now. Spiders are terrible. Jake Parker. Gotta hit it with the helmet. No. Will Witt step by step not... I mean, I don't think Witt will come back unless there's a serious injury into the starting rotation. If there's an injury to one of the starters, I think Witt could come back. I do. I believe that. I think everybody is. Hardy's injury could take some time, and he really needs time to develop. Yeah, that's the annoying thing, too. Once again, it's hurting the development of these guys, you know? Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a bust. I think Akrum's good, and they like his experience, and they like that they've cross-trained him. He can play every position on the offensive line, which is valuable. Yeah, I have them keeping Jonah Williams and Arcuri. I think that's the way you got to go. That's fair because you're probably going to see Hardy more than you were going to see Bruss during the regular season. Could definitely see that. Would not rule that out. I wouldn't rule out, and I'm not saying they will, but I mean, I wouldn't rule out a potential trade either. Like, if the Eagles don't want Andre Dillard, like, I'd give them a call. If the Bears really don't want Tevin Jenkins, I'd give them a call. But we'll see how that goes. Luis Perez got cut last week. He was in the first round of cuts. Just trying to keep it Rams-centric, but no, I wouldn't fire him. And to go back to that, just this live stream, like I just want to keep this Rams-centric because the people afterwards that are going to watch it, they're going to watch it for the Rams news. I will have JE lives that are more like open to everything. I missed it. What did Anthony Hines do? He had a really, really good first game on special teams. They could. Yeah. Yeah, I know nothing about like Higbee's just fine. Like he's there's not really any update on him. There's nothing. That would be interesting. Depends. I would want a good offensive lineman for Rapp because Rapp is a starter, it looks like. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm not saying he'll 100% come back. I'm saying he would likely come back if there was like a serious injury to one of the top 5 offensive line starters. I could see him sliding in at guard if he had to. He might have. And that's the thing. Like, they could go that route, the scenario there. So I had them keeping 6. But if they wanted to just keep 5 here, then I'd probably take Williams over Hoyt and then probably add... You're probably good with, talking 6 corners, 4 safeties, special teams, you have 3. Yeah, 3 linebackers is tough. Not having Jake Hummel on the roster is tough for me. I really like him. I also like Gervais. If they kept anyone with that extra roster spot, based on what I'm looking at here, I'd probably say they would probably keep Keir Thomas. I'd say Jake Hummel or Keir Thomas or maybe Grant Haley. That's what I would say in regards to like who they would keep if they decided to move on from Hoyt. Which I wouldn't say Hoyt is completely fine either. Because as much as I like him, you know, he's among the same, not the same tier. I mean, I don't know if that's fair, but he's kind of the same as Kendall Blanton if you think about it. Like if Kendall Blanton can get cut, so can any of these guys at that point, I'd have to imagine. Yeah, I really like Trammell. So I'm hoping so as well. And I think they'll be able to sneak him. There's a couple teams that might be interested in him, and those are the teams that he played, you know, because he showcased against the Chargers and Texans. The Texans would have nothing to lose. I think he could be on the active roster if I'm being real with you. So if the Texans grab him, I won't be surprised. They're not going to spend a high claim on him. They might claim him, you know, put in a waiver claim for him. But I wouldn't be surprised if they got him. Silverback Williams? Yeah, that'd be fun. I don't know either because I don't know who's available. I mean, I've heard for years a Taylor Rapp for Andre Dillard trade would make sense, and I do somewhat agree with that, but I don't know. If he gets cut, yeah, I don't think he's gonna get cut. But if he does, then I like Logan Thomas. But I feel like it's a numbers game, and that's why they let go of Blanton. Like I don't feel like they want to necessarily let go of Blanton, but nope. Because they lost Mekhi Becton, so when they got Dwayne Brown, that was like needed. I mean, Beninoct would be interesting. Caleb Beninoct, the guy that they signed, they might have to cut him. I don't think he's going to make the team. I really like him. He played a hell of a game against the Eagles week 1. But Beninoct is really a tackle. So, I mean, I don't know if he can kick in at guard, but he's really a tackle. So, I don't know if he really helps, but I do like him. Yeah, I mean, I think Trammell in the right circumstances, he could be like a Braxton Berrios. You look at what he's done for the Jets, going from special teamer to then now all of a sudden he's part of the Big Four. He's got a great rapport with Zach Wilson, you know? I didn't think of the Eagles and Bears for potential trade partners for offensive line help, but it's a maybe right now, but not out of the realm of possibility. Wrap for O-line, probably not going to happen, but very interesting idea. I agree with that. I mean, look, you're going to have 2 Rams at the safety position that you are not going that are going to be going into free agency next year, okay? You might get one of them back, you might lose both of them. Nick Scott is your guy, okay? He is the starter. He has emerged as the number 1 safety in LA, okay? Jordan Fuller is coming back from the injury. I think when he's fully healthy, he might take over as the number 1 guy, but regardless, both of them will be playing. Now you have Burgess, you have Rapp, you have a decision to make, you know? And I think, I wouldn't say that they definitely do it, but I wouldn't rule out a chance if they do find a trade partner. Maybe they trade Burgess, maybe they trade Rapp, maybe they trade, I don't see them trading Nick Scott, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule any of that out. Even a rare draft trade. What if they trade, you know, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. But if you remember, like, the Raiders traded away their 3rd round pick in, what's his face? I totally forgot his name. He played at Kentucky. I can't even remember his name. But anyway, they traded him away. It could be a rare, like, draft pick trade where, you know, they trade away Russ Yeast for an offensive lineman because they know they're not going to keep Yeast. And here's the argument, because people will be like, but Jake, why would anybody trade for anybody ahead of cut day? They'll just claim them. Well, here's the thing. It's not free agency. It's waivers. So if you love a guy and you know he's going to get cut, are you willing to trade assets to make sure that you have him, or are you going to try to press your luck and hope that he'll go through waivers and only you are going to claim him out of 32 teams in the league? That's why these trades actually happen. They exist because of that. Because a team wants to jump out in front and be like, hey, you know what? Hey, before you waive this guy, let me give you this offer. I want him on my team. We circled him during the draft process. We were bummed we didn't get him in our house, during that time. But we have a chance now. He's not going to be on your roster, and you're going to lose him in waivers. So if you want something, we'll give you a late-round pick for him. That's what happens, okay? So teams do that. And they do that for that reason, because if you really like a player and you know that he's going to have to go through waivers and you're not going to be able to get through waivers, you might consider that. So I would not rule that out. With the roster you made right now, have the 5 D linemen and keep Hummel as the 4th inside linebacker. Yeah, I haven't finalized it yet. I'm going to do the whole roster video at some point within the next few days. But as of right now, that's how I have it. I'm a big fan of Jake Hummel, so I very well could end up changing my mind and keeping him. That's how I have it right now. I'm in Bears country. As of a week ago, they were still looking to trade Tevin Jenkins. I don't know why. I don't know what they're doing, but I would love Tevin Jenkins. I was a big fan of his coming out of college. Had a really high grade on him in the draft, and I would 100% be all for that. So, just saying. Yeah, it does suck. Yeah, excuse me. He hasn't been very good. He's really struggled in preseason. It seems like he's just going downhill. Sad to see. A once touted prospect, not really by me, but the Rams had high hopes for him, is not looking like he's going to have much of a future with this team. How much would the Jets be asking for Mekhi Becton? Well, you have to keep this in mind. Becton has now missed the season back-to-back years, because he's going to miss the whole season this year. He missed almost the entire season last year. He played in the first game, got hurt. So that's the first thing. 2 straight season-ending injuries for Mekhi Becton. That's first thing. Second thing is he's injured now, so he's not going to help you. So there's not really, I don't know if there's a point of trying to even trade for him. And also the Jets do like him, so they're not going to trade Becton. Why do you think the Rams made cuts so quickly when they had until Tuesday? Good question. I don't know. Maybe they were, I don't know. I actually have no explanation for that. I have no idea. None. There's the yawning. I hate it. Is Harris moving to tight end? I don't think he's really moving to tight end. I think he'll be classified as a tight end, make them feel good about themselves, but I don't think he's actually a tight end. I thought the Ben Skoranek wide receiver tight end hybrid comment was really spot on, because I think he can play that. Keep in mind, he's 220 pounds. I mean, the dude's bulked up, So. Oh, he's. All right. I said this. I tweeted this out on Twitter. Okay. The way it stands right now, the conversation is not about whether Lance McCutcheon makes the team, but rather whether Lance McCutcheon wears number 82 or number 86, because he's already made the team. The Rams are telling you this by the moves they made today, and on top of that, the Rams are telling you this by the social media posts they made today, because no one is going to post this if they aren't clearly going to keep this guy. They come out and they post his stat line. They post his stat line. Like, no. You don't tweet this out unless you know for sure you're keeping this guy on the roster. Because they just tweeted out a stat line through 2 preseason games, 10 receptions on 12 targets, 183 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. You don't tweet that out. Period. You don't. Unless you know for certain that he's going to be on the roster. Am I saying that the social media Rams team was told by the front office they're keeping him? I'm not necessarily saying that, but I don't know. Read the room. I mean, you're not going to put that out there. That's not necessarily true. The social media team can't just put out whatever. There has to be some sort of guideline in place. They are a PR team, keep in mind. Open day Monday and travel Tuesday. That is why they cut. Okay. Is Kyron Williams playing the last preseason game? That's the hope, but who knows after today. Yeah, he can block. I don't know if I agree with that. I think the power back thing is kind of overrated. I mean, like, Sony Michel doesn't really fit what they're trying to do, so they had to kind of change their offense to fit him. So I see a lot of people are like, you know, we need to get Sony Michel back, and I'm like, not really. Although if you're looking for anybody, I mean, Ragus does have that kind of build, but I think they're fine. They don't need a power back. What's up, James? Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, obviously great that they won the Super Bowl. Now it'll be even great if they repeat. So we'll see, you know, what they do in this case. But obviously not great news about the injuries. Incredibly frustrating. But, you know, you can't be perfectly, what's the word I'm looking for? Can't be invincible. You know, every team gets hurt. So hopefully it doesn't get too bad. I do remember. I appreciate that. And thank you for being here. I appreciate everyone supporting the channel. And if you could, be sure to hit the thumbs up, like button. The, you know, vote with your thumb, as I say. You know, when you go to local business and you vote with your dollar. If you're enjoying this, be sure to vote with your thumb so you let YouTube know that this is the place to be. And they'll start sending people this. And to me, this isn't a shock, because this is what I've been saying, is that, look, the Rams can still get OBJ, okay? Like, the Rams can still get OBJ and still have McCutcheon. OBJ is in his 30s now, you know? McCutcheon is a long-term guy. You just can't let him leave. Like I said, you find a guy like that, you don't let him go. It's that simple. Because they do not grow on trees. They don't. What's up, Nolan? Yeah, I watched his college tape. I gave him a 6th round grade. Obviously a little too low. But yeah, I mean, he really, his preseason is just a carbon copy of what he brought to the table at Montana State. That's a really good sign of a really good player in the NFL. A guy that can literally take this college tape and transfer it over to the NFL and put on the same, you know, highlight reel type of plays and everything. You know, love that. Maybe the Rams made cuts early to immediately ready if O-line becomes available. I guess they just explained it's about travel because they're going to Cincinnati for the open practice, the joint practice. That just started. Like, the Jets just started joint practice with the Falcons, who they're playing on Monday Night Football. The Rams will play the Bengals on Saturday night. If we want OBJ, we need to have a cuttable wide receiver ready. It'd be crazy if they didn't keep him. May have missed this, but who else has stood out to you on the offense this preseason? Well, I'll start off. I think Perkins has stood out. I think, you look at the running backs, I think all of them have done something. Jake Funk has really offered a lot on special teams, I thought. Then wide receiver, you got Jacob Harris. I liked him last night, but, I think when you look at it, obviously McCutcheon leads the pack, and then Austin Trammell. Those have been the two leading receivers in back-to-back games, so those are the two I'm going to say there. Bryson Hopkins has really done well. He pushed Blanton right off the roster. The offensive line, I really have liked Cologne. Aside from that, it hasn't been great. Jackson was pretty good, and our Curry was pretty good last night, when playing the left tackle spot. There were times where they weren't, but, So that's what I would say about the offense, to answer your question. That's true. Yeah, I hate it. I really like Hardy. Appreciate you, Rams Tapes. Thank you so much for the donation. Really kind of you. Shout out to Raven fans, too. Brutal end to the game. They were almost all chill and nice to me afterwards. What happened to the Ravens? With this injury, I hope this doesn't cause the Rams to keep Evans. Yeah, that would be the worst. It's Coleman Shell in time. Let's see how much he's improved or how he will solidify the offensive line. I think he's going to be good. I've really changed my opinion and done a 180 on Coleman Shell. He's got this tenacity, and he's a violent dude. I definitely like that in an offensive guard. I was just watching the game earlier this morning. Our Curry did a nice job of mirroring. I liked what he did at the end of the game, playing left tackle. So he's a guy that they want to develop. Whitworth likes him. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up having a longer career than Bruss and ends up being better. I wouldn't be surprised. But do I think he offers more than Bruss does right now? No, he doesn't. He's a work in progress, and that's okay. Yeah, that was brutal. Yeah, I was wondering where he went. Potentially. Yeah, and OBJ wouldn't be back until mid-season, so you don't have to really even worry about that, As in, like, he's going to play, or as in that he's next to get cut? Yeah, I am too. He was, yeah. Offhand, the only ones I really think of, Dillard in Philly and Tevin Jenkins in Chicago. I think those are the two best options. If they could grab any of those guys, that would be sick. Oh, big time. I didn't even realize I'm drinking the Snapple. I'm just like... I'm obsessed with these. Oh my god. They taste so good. I just don't think we push as much as other teams for OBJ now that with the emergence of McCutcheon. I don't know about that. Make no mistake about it. I think McCutcheon, keeping him is a long-term thing. It's not that he can't help you, but, So, I don't know. I think OBJ will be back. It really is, and they've really, they've changed their ingredients, too. It's gotten better. Over the years, it's gotten better. Somebody that's been drinking Snapple for years. What would help more this year, OBJ or available cap space money to bolster a position of greater need? OBJ. I don't care about cap space. They figure it out regardless of space. That honestly is somewhat of a myth to me, so I will take OBJ over some allotted cap for sure. I think OBJ will go to the Bills if they are looking really good by his return, and if the Bills hand the Ram a loss by a lot, he will go somewhere else. At least I hope so. LOL. Yeah. I figured the 49er fan would not want OBJ to go to the Rams because we all know what he did to the 49ers the last time. Snapple does not miss. Next to get the reps without Bruss. Oh, gotcha. I mean, Bruss wasn't going to start, so, I mean, if you're looking for a sixth man, I would probably say it is Ankrum. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen, so... I do, but I can understand why people don't. I think it'll be a rotation with Ben, and I think there's a chance it's rotation with McCutcheon. I won't rule it out. I think he's ahead of where the coaches even thought he'd be. And I think the coaches were high on him. So that says a lot. That says a lot. Once again, just a reminder, if you're enjoying this and you have not already hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate if you would. No big deal if you don't want to, but if you do like it, you know, also be sure to hit the thumbs up. It really does help me out. It helps out the channel, and if you are enjoying this, you want more people to come in here, best way to do it, smash that thumbs up, vote with your thumb, and that way YouTube will be letting... I can't even talk. But you're letting YouTube know essentially that you like this video, and so YouTube is going to extend the invitation for other people to enjoy the video and put it out there. So that is how we grow on here. That is how the algorithm works. You hit the thumbs up, and then YouTube was signaled, oh, there's X amount of thumbs up. We have 100 on this, so this must be good. All right, let's push it out to the audience. You know, that's just how it works. So. Just saying, would you sign OBJ or Snapple? I mean, the better question is, would I sign OBJ or would I get a Snapple sponsorship? I'd still take OBJ over getting a Snapple sponsorship, but I'll take a Snapple sponsorship if they want to go and do that, because I love your freaking tee. Love it. Odell is jacked. He's been in the weight room. I noticed that. There are people that are saying he's going to move to linebacker, which I thought was funny. Hashtag ad. Is it more of a concern that Houston's starting offense couldn't move the ball against our second and third team defense, or does it show how good our defense could be this year, even with depth guys? I see what you're saying. So, Dingus, what you're asking is if it's bad. Is it more that the Texans are that bad or the Rams that good? Are the Rams' depth that good? I think the Rams' depth is that good. What spider? Where? Why would you say that? No, I don't see it. Bruh. Oh, you got me all... Damn you. Yeah, no, I think the Rams' second and third team was impressive. I think it was more the Rams' second and third team than anything else. Oh my god, that one dude comments on all of my videos and live streams about the stupid uniforms and helmets. Like, get a grip, man. The Rams need to cut those cheesy uniforms and bad helmet design. I can't. You're mean for that. Yes, hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Appreciate you. Well, this is what I'm going to say, okay? And I'm going to be as nice about this as possible because I actually don't have any issue with the Bills, although the fans were kind of obnoxious to me about their punter Because, I mean, I'm sorry, but there's no need to have an 80-yard punter if he can't actually kick it inside the 20. Anyway, my point is that I don't have an issue with the Bills. Some of their fans are obnoxious, and they have been, and they were, the last time the Rams played them, whatever. But I'm going to be very honest here, okay? The Bills haven't won anything. They went to 4 Super Bowls and didn't win. The Rams won last year with OBJ. So if you think, and I understand it's a different team, but Josh Allen's never been there. I think he's the best quarterback in the league. He has not won a Super Bowl. He has not gotten to a Super Bowl. Okay? So if you want to go there, and you want to make the argument, oh, well, he'll go to the Bills because that's his best chance of winning, history shows you it's not. It's not at all. And here's another thing. Don't discount how important it is that OBJ found a home in L.A. I don't mean an actual home. I don't mean that he bought a place. I mean the fact that this guy started off with the Giants. He was considered this big, media headache or whatever, and all of that, right? And then he gets traded to the Browns after getting a huge deal. So, the Giants basically bailed on the contract after they gave him this huge contract deal. And then he goes to the Browns, and then the Browns are like, they're trying to run him out of town. And there's all sorts of people saying, oh, well, OBJ, when he got hurt, they went to the playoffs, and they were better, and Baker was better without OBJ. So they started that ridiculous slander, trying to say that OBJ made the team worse. And then, his dad calls out Baker Mayfield, and whether it was fair or not, it wasn't wrong. OBJ didn't, but OBJ got the brunt of it, of course, because, you know how OBJ can totally control what his father is doing on social media. So then he goes to the Rams. And after getting all that shade and all that shit and all of that, hey, he's just not good enough, and he's a diva, and he's not a winner, and don't forget the yacht. Don't forget the yacht picture with the Giants. After getting all that shit, he comes to the Rams, okay? Initially, he comes to the Rams to add depth. He comes to the Rams to, add another, element to the roster, to the offense. And then pretty much the day he's signing his deal, there's a freak ass thing that happens. I was at a Devils game and I saw the news that Robert Woods has torn his ACL in practice. And sure enough, it was true. So Woods tears his ACL. Here he is thinking he's joining a team where he's going to be the 4th or 3rd receiver. Now he has to be the number 2 receiver while learning the playbook. And what did OBJ do? He stepped up to the occasion. And he was a big reason why the Rams won the Super Bowl. And he knows it was collective effort. But one thing he also knows is it wasn't just Von Miller. Okay? Just because Von Miller is in Buffalo doesn't mean they automatically are going to win the Super Bowl. So OBJ established himself with the Rams. He got his career back on track, revitalized it with the Rams. That holds weight here, my friends. OBJ has been in constant contact with Sean McVay and company. So if you think now they're going to be like, yeah, we don't need OBJ, we're good. Or if you think that OBJ is going to be like, I think I'm going to go to Buffalo because, Von. He's not going to go to Buffalo just because he wants to play with Von Miller. He has plenty of other friends in the league, okay? Von Miller isn't his only friend, first off. Secondly, he doesn't just go to places because, he has friends. He didn't sign with the Packers. He signed with the Rams, okay? He likes McVay. He's close with McVay. He's close with the, Coach Yarbs. He's close with the team. He likes the area, okay? He's not going to Buffalo. Take it from somebody who lives in upstate New York. As much as I love this area, the weather is not good. You're not going to get sunny LA. Plus, on top of that, OBJ is Hollywood. He is a headline. His acronym for his name, OBJ, is huge. It's huge. I mean, there's still people that call him ODB, which doesn't make any sense. But OBJ is huge. And it's like LeBron leaving the Lakers, not signing his contract, leaving the Lakers and going to play for Portland. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? There's no point of doing that. Zero. Why would LeBron do that? Why would OBJ go to the Buffalo Bills? Like, you want to stay in LA when you're on that level. He is a globally recognized superstar. There's no point of him leaving LA, and he's not going to. No chance. He's going to stay. If he doesn't, then he might be going to the Niners if he doesn't. But he's going to stay in California is my point. All right. It's all in your head. There's no spider. Props to the second and third stringers making it a game against the starters. I agree. Rams got the cleanest strip in the league. I really do like their uniforms. Defense is going to be really good. Love the upside. Love all the depth that they have. They showed it off last night. Yeah, it's really annoying. Why are you tweeting at the COO? It's so stupid. Yeah, exactly. I think they'll be in the Super Bowl, but I don't think they're winning it. It's true, because they have this, linkage. I don't know. OBJ 13. I want to see if the Bills' offensive line will be able to stand a chance against the Rams' D-line. Give Allen time to throw. Why was Josh Allen playing in preseason? I had no idea what you guys were talking about. None. When I was live earlier. Then I realized Josh Allen was actually playing in preseason, and I got pretty pissed. He is the best quarterback in football. He doesn't need to be playing in preseason. That is so stupid. So stupid. Yeah, you weren't the only one. I mean, I wasn't with you. I was all for. I told you guys. Don't you remember? Not to toot my own horn, but don't you remember when I said that OBJ was going to go to the Rams before he had even been released? I said he was going to go to the Rams. I said he was going to force his way to the Rams, but he still ended up got his way to the Rams. So point still stands. What's going to be crazy is we saw OBJ succeed with the Rams, and if Baker succeeds in Carolina, it's going to say a lot about the Browns organization, even coaching. I mean, what is there that hasn't been said about the Browns organization except for the fact that they have no idea what they're doing and they're not run well? I mean, if you're going to hire, I say hire. If you're going to sign Deshaun Watson knowing what he's done, man, I can't. The whole Deshaun Watson thing told me everything about the Browns organization. Also, I just don't like Ohio. I should probably not go there because I just don't like it. I want OBJ back as well. I think he'll be back. Facts. I think a lot of people say that. I mean, I don't care because I think Atwell is he's gonna have a role and he's gonna be successful and he has a chance to be like Tyreek Hill 2.0 if he works out. So I'm excited for him. Exactly. One of the only things that really is keeping me from saying that I'm committed to staying in New York the rest of my life is climate. I agree. Yeah, that was funny. Yep. What's up, Ruiz? What's up, Stan? Yeah, that's true. The Rams have brought in a lot of big-name players that didn't work out with previous teams and revived their careers in the Rams, which led them getting paid. And you know who are big names that could use revitalization? Well, at least one of them. Aaron. Not and I said his freaking name wrong. Andre Dillard. I don't know if the Eagles will cut him. But I would take him. That's funny on Section 215, the SB Nation Eagles page. This is the title. Andre Dillard is definitely getting traded, right? Like, I mean, there's no way. There's no way Dillard. I don't know. Teams have called Eagles about Andre Dillard trade, so we'll see what happens. But Jordan Mailata took over the left spot, and Lane Johnson's on the right side, so Dillard doesn't have a role. I don't know. I think he's just playing around with it. I think he's just having fun because, well, right now, anything he says is media attention. If you think about it, I mean, I was in a thread with him. He didn't even reply to me, and now all of a sudden that whole thread is on Pat McAfee. Anything he says from this point on is going to be, eaten up by the media. Well, hey, that's not nice. I know what you mean, but I feel for Trent Green because that killed his career. I just find it funny how as soon as the reports from Ian Rapp that both parties are still in talks, then that Vaughn IG post happened. Yep. Does OBJ really want to play in Buffalo in the winter? Probably not. He was in New York. I don't think he wants to play in New York and Cleveland again. That's like playing in there. I don't know. I mean, he had Mahomes beat if the defense actually stepped up. I think Allen's the better quarterback. And keep this in mind. Keep this in mind, folks. When I say that, I was the guy that was all over Patrick Mahomes as the number one quarterback. I went on, radio shows saying that. And this is back when he was like a second-round pick that no one was really talking about. At least I thought he was a second-round pick. Then he shot his way all the way up to the first round. But that was my guy. And I was not high on Josh Allen. This is not me saying that I'm right. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. This is me admitting that I was wrong about Josh Allen. I'm willing to admit that he's the best quarterback in football. He did have success in KC, but, I think he could have been a lot better, obviously, with the Gray Show on turf. I wouldn't rule it out. Depends, Pretty much. That's also true. Props to win. Isn't it like 600? I think it is. I think OBJ comes back. I do. Were the Bills the number one ranked defense? Like, yes, but were they playing like a number one defense at the end of the year? No. They really weren't. Facts. I still can't believe they did that. That was incredibly stupid. Yeah. That too, which was just not a good look. Yes, sir. I have no idea who they would pick up, but let's breathe some life into the stream a little bit. Let's go to Spotrac and let's discuss, because Spotrac will have the NFL offensive linemen that are available in free agency. It really was something else. Okay. So let's go here. Let's go to contracts, free agents. Any minute now. I don't know why Spotrac is so slow, but it is. I really like the site. It just takes forever to load stuff. Like, it really takes forever to load stuff. Okay, here we go. So, let's do UFA. We'll do all teams. We'll do offensive line. And we'll do available. All right, let's see what comes up. So, guys that are available, we'll start with centers. We got Drake Jackson, Alex Mollett, Adam Redmond, Darrell Williams, Marcus Henry, Donnell Stanley, Brett Jones, B.J. Finney, Josh Andrews, Matt Paradis. That's very interesting. J.C. Treader. Can Treader play guard? Because that's interesting. If he can play guard, do you sign Treader? I mean, I don't know. Let's see here. All right. I'll let you know in a sec if he can play guard. Regular and post. Snaps by position. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not going to find it. Oh, well. Well, Treader would be interesting. At the very least, he'd be an interesting option. Now let's look at the Rams. All right. So, yeah, I think Paradis and Treader, maybe they move to guard. I don't know. But they're interesting. All right, now let's look at the guards. So, William Dunkel, I don't know about. Derek Kirkstetter, don't know who that is. Liam Shanahan, don't know who that is. George Moore, we interviewed him. Avery Genesee, 28 years old. He was a prospect. He was drafted. Was it Genesee was like a... Oh, no, he's undrafted, I guess. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. Chris Owens, Denzel Okafor, Cole Banwart, Jake Eldrenkamp, former Ram. Sam Cooper, Jared Hawker, former Ram. Brandon Knight, Jordan Simmons, Kamal Seymour, Quentin Spann, John Miller, Max Garcia, Kyle Long, Richie Incognito, he's retired. Billy Price apparently is available. Rashad Hill, Alex Lewis, Trey Hopkins, Laurent Duvernay Tardif, Eric Flowers, Jason Peters. Oh, that's tackle. Okay. I don't know. Is there anybody that I just named that comes to your mind? Like, oh yeah, that might be fun. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I mean, I don't look at any of these guys and think, yeah, like, but at the same time, are you getting any of these guys to start? And that the answer is no. So this would be depth. I'll be honest. I really like the way Caleb Benenoch played the other night for the Jets and Eagles. I know I said that already. I don't think he's going to make the Jets roster. You know, just like kind of looking at it. I mean, he played tackle, I know, but I think he could play guard. Looking at my 53 men for the Jets, I have them keeping Dwayne Brown, Laken Tomlinson, Connor McGovern, Elijah Vera Tucker, George Fant as my starting 5 for them. Max Mitchell, the rookie, Nate Herbig, Chuma Edoga, and Dan Feeney. So that leaves them cutting Caleb Benenoch, Chris Glazer, Ross Pierce-Baker, who can play center. We also interviewed him on Downtown Rams. Isaiah Williams, Connor McDermott, and Grant Hermans. But I really like Benenoch. He's 28 years old, so if he is available, like, I didn't want to cut him, but I don't think that they're going to cut Feeney or Edoga. So the Rams could definitely use a guy like that, and I think he could kick in at guard. George Moore's also a guard. Oh, that's Alexis. Oh, what's up, AK? What up? Yes, George Moore is available. Yeah, I I was like peering on like the corner of my eye on my screen, and I was like, I saw George Moore, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, that's you. Yeah, so he's available. I mean, let's be honest here. I think that they're definitely going to get somebody because, you know, an injury like that with Logan Bruss, I mean, I feel like they're going to get somebody, right? Could they get any of the tackles and move them to guard? I mean, if I'm looking at this, Brandon Shell, formerly with Seattle, and he was also with the Jets, I could see Shell doing that. I don't think he's great, but again, this is like adding depth. Tyrell Crosby from the Detroit. But yeah, I don't know. Here's a fun one, okay? He wasn't the best. He did struggle last year, but again, this would be your backup. How about Trey Hopkins? You know, he's 30 years old, okay, but he played for Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. And he is available. And you wouldn't believe how many Bengals fans are begging for them to sign this guy back. I mean, like, begging. Like, he just turned 30. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that would be interesting with Hopkins. Might be worth looking into that. Might be worth it looking into that for sure. Well, you already stirred it. You shit stir? No. No, it's good, man. Thought-provoking. We all get smarter on here. I get smarter because I'm not afraid to look shit up while I'm live. So, I like learning. So, all right. One of the main things that you can trust PFF with is offensive line. No matter what anyone tells you, PFF really knows their shit when it comes to offensive line. So let's look up Trey Hopkins. I can't imagine they're great numbers, but we do have Cincinnati Bengals fans going crazy about signing this guy, bringing this guy back. And he can play guard and he can play center, so you have the versatility. So if you're looking at this, you know, offensive grades or whatever, how well did he play in the Super Bowl? That's what I want to know. Yeah, he was all right. He's not the best. But, I mean, if you're looking for a rotational guy, you know, a backup, I mean, he's not a bad option. He'd be cheap. He's 30. He's played in big-time games. I mean, he started in the Super Bowl. Like, I'm not all over Trey Hopkins. I'm not, but, you know, I think that wouldn't be a bad pickup. I think if I would say Trey Hopkins, let's see here. I'll throw Tyrell Crosby definitely into the hat. I like him. He's young, too. He's 26. I think he'd be a lot better with the Rams. He's got some good offensive grades, although he was best in 2018 at his rookie year. Also interviewed him. I wonder if the Rams would bring back Hawker or, you know, somebody like that. Because I know, like, Drake Jackson they had, and Drake Jackson's the youngest guy in free agency. So, I mean, he's an option. You know. Eric Flowers, is he? Eric Flowers is on Washington, so I don't know why it's saying that he's available. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, I like Trey Hopkins because I like a guy that is experienced for the offensive line to be a backup. Kyle Long, He's an interesting one. But there's not a lot of, there's not a lot of guys. So, Billy Price, big name, but like I said, not a lot of guys. All right, let's catch up on the chat here. Let's see. Raheem Morris last season with Atlanta, he gave Pat Mahomes fits, frustrated at Kansas City. So I've heard Bobby Evans is doing well in practice. I mean, Alexis, did I send you that clip? It was bad. Of Bobby Evans. Let's see here. I'm going to send it to you. I guess I didn't send it to you. I'm going to send it to you now. I couldn't believe my eyes. It might be the worst. It might be the worst play I've ever seen out of a tackle. Ever. It looks like, the way I can describe it is, the backpedaling drills with the corners? Like, it looks like that, but he's getting pushed back. And he's doing the backpedaling drill. And then falls on his ass. I just sent it to you, Alexis. You let me know when you see it. Yeah, see? Like, ugh. I feel bad. I don't mean to trash the guy, but I'm just saying that, like, he can't be the answer. If anybody goes down, you have to put Bobby Evans in there. I don't know. No idea why Allen was even playing today, man. He should not be playing in preseason. That's absolutely insane. I think that actually sounds familiar. I don't remember what for, but that's true. I would love him, I think he'd be great depth, but yeah, I think he's done with football, and I don't blame him. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, she is. Let's see. I'm gonna give AJ Jackson a pass because it coincides with what I was saying earlier today in the first live stream, right? Earlier today, I was saying how, you take one of these guys off their putrid unit as a whole and you put them on a starting offensive line and they're going to be better. They're not all going to be a lot better, but they're all going to be better, at least in some facet. Because you're going to be better playing next to Havenstein than you're better playing next to Evans. You're going to be better playing next to Joe Noteboom than you are, with whoever's there, whether it's Arcuri or whoever. That's just how it is. So you are going to be better. It does help. But yeah, it's definitely something, worth noting there. That, like, these guys aren't doomed. If the Rams lose multiple guys on the offensive line, that is going to be an issue. But they're not doomed per se. But I do agree with Alexis that I don't love the depth of the offensive line. But I wouldn't say like they're done for if there's an injury. I think they'd be able to plug a guy in there and he'd be better than what we saw in preseason. I think preseason is really a wash when it comes down to it. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's a bummer about Bruss. He did struggle, but I really was hoping he'd get an opportunity to stay. Yes, he would have been a backup, but he would have been able to develop his game on the side in practice, and now he doesn't get to do that, and it really bothers me. Yeah, really bummed about Kendall. He had a really nice tweet. Kendall Blanton did. So, I think is it. I'll bring it up right now. Why can't I find it? At Rams NFL, I'm grateful for it all. I'm grateful for the opportunity, the ups, the downs, everything I've learned and experienced in my 4 years here. I believe in God. I know that while I may not always understand it, His plan is greater than my own. Look at God. So that was his stance on that. I wouldn't rule out them bringing him back if he does clear waivers. I just don't think he's going to clear waivers. I don't. He shouldn't. He's a good tight end. He can be a backup on any team. He could probably start on a couple teams in the league. So I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised. Hey Jake, I don't know about you, but I'm excited for the season. I haven't been able to watch these first few preseason games. Mind giving a quick elevator pitch on them? Yeah, so the first preseason game was all about the emergence of Lance McCutcheon. You saw some good things out of guys like Benton Whitley. Bobby Brown, before he got hurt, had a really nice sack going through, the offense line, tearing through and creating pressure. And then you got some good stuff out of Daniel Hardy. Yeah, you almost had a pick six dropped interception by Darion Kendrick. And Bryce Perkins put on a show with his escapability because of how poor the offensive line was. That was really what we saw. The second game was John Wolford and Bryce Perkins battling. Wolford had no time to throw because he played against the first team with that offensive line, was trying to make the most of it, really couldn't. Perkins came in. The first team came out. Perkins was able to make more plays, of course. But, I think it was really just those two. And then you had the defensive game out of Robert Rochelle, Deron Lowe, what he did. He saved a touchdown. He broke up a pass in the end zone, and then he created a touchdown on the hands team on the punt by forcing a fumble, and Roger Carter picked it up and ran it into the end zone. So those two did well. You had the peanut punch from Robert Rochelle, plus a really nice pass breakup on 3rd and long. But Jonah Williams had a huge forced fumble that pushed them all the way down in their own territory. And then, I thought you saw, some encouraging things out of, Jake Gervais as well in this preseason. A guy that they moved from safety to linebacker. In addition to that, Bryson Hopkins looked really good. Lance McCutcheon kept his thing going. He had 96 yards, in this game. And Austin Trammell. I can't speak enough about this guy. Literally just joined the team a few weeks ago, and he was thrown into the competition, and now all of a sudden he's been in the top 2 in receiving in back-to-back preseason games. That should mean something. So I've been impressed with that stuff there. As long as Bobby Turnstile Evans doesn't get kept after this injury, I'll be fine. He just lets everybody through. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm sad about Kendall too, but he will eat somewhere else. I agree with that. I would trade a late-round pick for a guard, but it would need to be a decent starter, not a superstar, but a starter. Greg Robinson is probably a bouncer in a bar in New Orleans. I think he's in jail, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think you sent it to me, but I believe you. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're caught up now on that at least. Yep, done for the season, unfortunately. Dwayne Brown signed with the Jets. Thank God, they needed him so badly. He's going to play left tackle. They're moving George Fant over the right tackle. No, he should not. No, he's a guard, and honestly, I'll be real. I think if Bobby Evans was playing guard and stuck to guard and they tried to push him at guard, maybe he would do something. But this putting him at tackle is just not working. Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know he was on Tennessee. That's awesome that he's getting some playing time, too. Is he really? I mean, I thought he was in jail, but... What's up, Ricky? I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, that's true. The king of false starts. Wolford looks so nervous in the pocket, and Perkins looks so nonchalant. Ryan Stonehouse fake punt. Hake? Who the hell's Hake? Jake. Oh, wait, it wasn't a fake. Bad snap, mishandled punt, and picked it up and ran for a first down. Not the first time Ryan Stonehouse has done that. I agree. O-line does concern me, too, with their injury history. Big Rob and Brian Allen do get banged up a lot. They did. They did waive Kendall Blanton. Bruss is going to be a backup anyway this year, so I think it's probably going to be like R. Curry is going to get an opportunity, Tremaine Ankrum, guys like that to be the sixth man. Yeah. I could see that. They did also get Johnny Munt, I believe, in the offseason, so I could see that. You think he'll clear waivers, really? I don't know. He was on a Super Bowl team. You know how that goes. Yeah, Jonah Williams was huge. I put him on my 53 after that game. Yeah, so Zach Wilson's injury ended up being a 2 to 4 week injury. Bone bruise, and he got lucky, man. He got lucky. But I was so mad. Ask Alexis. I was so pissed when he got hurt. So mad. Because I literally went on a Jet show, the Jet Lounge, the night before, talking to people in, Jets fans in the lounge. And I, like, the big question was, like, should the Jets start Zach Wilson? I was like, absolutely not. He should be nowhere near a preseason football field. And then he got hurt, and I was like, I'm not trying to say I told you so, but what the actual hell were you thinking playing him? So glad that he's okay. He's still going to miss games, and that's not ideal, but McCutcheon is much further along than Atwell. Doubt they will keep him over Atwell, though, because he was number 2 pick. Yeah, but they're going to keep both of them. McCutcheon's already made the roster. They confirmed that today. When they put out that they were cutting Kendall Blanton, that was them telling us, be prepared because McCutcheon's going to make the team. I don't know about that. I like Blanton, but McCutcheon has a much higher ceiling. Well, it is a big deal because, Bruss is, he's a rookie. So, I mean, that happens, but you also want that development there. And he's now no longer able to develop his game until he finishes his rehab and comes back. I mean, that's a whole year, man. That is a big deal. Oh, they're going to stick with 3, I think, but if they stuck with 2, then it would be Wolford. I think that they would probably cut Perkins, so I hope they don't do that. Perkins' first drive versus starters look bad? Are you saying like in the second half? Because the starters weren't really in. I mean, I think Perkins looked better, but I think you can't really evaluate any of them because the offensive line wasn't good. You know what I mean? But I mean, I think you have to give Perkins credit because he was in the pocket a lot longer than Wolford. But Wolford was also getting chased by the first team, to be fair. Interesting. I don't think they're going to get Kyle Long. I was just mentioning. The broadcast covering the Titans game is really impressed with Rupsich. I totally forgot how to say his name. Is it Rupsich or Rupsick? I don't remember. And Stonehouse, 2 guys we interviewed and really wanted. Yeah, I wanted both of them. I'll never forget that idiot Robinson getting 2 consecutive personal fouls on one drive. The Rams were lucky to win 4 games that season. Carberry got to let this Evans experiment go, put him where he's best. Do you think the O-line will be a problem for Stafford this year? No, unless it's like a catastrophic bunch of injuries. I think they'll be okay. You're funny. Robin's draft, there was 3 10-year starters in the top 15 picks. Such a horrible pick. Perkins greater than Wolf. Glock 9 dealt with far worse O-lines in Detroit. That's true. I agree with that, but he also played next to Bobby Evans. So if you remember Joe Barksdale, I was talking about this the last time. Joe Barksdale literally got cut from the team because he played next to Davin Joseph at the end of his career, who was a walking turnstile. So, Good McCutcheon will earn playing time. Guys either can play or not. He is a baller. Brick's got the like button. Yes, please do. Would help me out tremendously. We got some lag from Spotrack. Man, you cannot keep that open long if you are streaming. I don't know why, but got to keep Wolford. Remember what he did for this team. Shout out to the fans who have been here since the Wolford era. Rupp Sitch. Okay. It's Rupp Sitch. Good to know. I didn't chart it or anything. I thought he was okay. I still think, at least in my opinion, I think Cameron Dicker was better, but they had already made up their mind, I guess, on him. Perkins' first drive, they had first team, and then the announcer said it at least. Oh, okay. Interesting. What's up, Jake? What rock concert did you go to recently? I just saw Elder Wednesday night. Small venue, absolutely incredible. Oh, nice. Yeah, so I saw Lit last night. The band that does My Own Worst Enemy. I love how that's how I address the band, because it's everyone knows that song. There were 3 weeks or so. The O-line was bad last year. Titans the next 2. Just hope not more of that. Stafford struggled in those games. Wolford looked good. Decent under heat. Fast release. Good accuracy. And went through progressions well. Yeah, I mean, I thought Wolford played well. I don't see how you can really... you can't take any of those and evaluate any of those games. Any of those... The way those guys played. You just can't, in my opinion. So... They're the worst team in baseball. Worst team. Do you think Perkins could be QB2 with some trick plays in the playbook? I mean, I honestly would play him as QB2, but I don't know if they'll do it. But I wouldn't, rule it out, you know? Worry about O-line depth and potential injuries? I mean, I'm sure they always worry about stuff like that. You know, Brian Cashman, the GM of the Yankees, he said his job is to always worry. I feel like that's the job of a general manager. Nothing is ever set in stone. Now, while you don't want to be, overreactionary and just making everything, making a move every time something happens or whatever, I feel like you're always trying to upgrade the roster, and you're always, keeping avenues open in doing so, which makes sense. So, yeah. Let's see here. Is anyone experiencing lag? I'm all of a sudden just getting lag. I'm seeing it's kind of obnoxious, but not really anything I can do about it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's a bummer. I really like Blanton. Like, that bummed me out to hear that. Definitely bummed me out to hear that. Could see that. I know they got Gerald Everett, but I could see that. And then what was the other one? The Vikings. Yeah, I mean, I could see the Vikings too. Yeah, sorry if there's lag. Spectrum's terrible. I can't tell you how many times I've tried with the service provider. I still get lag. I lowered the bit rate so low just so it wouldn't drop frames. So obnoxious. Still dropping frames. I hate it so much. Gluten-free Rams. Later, Alexis. Thanks for stopping by. Theoretically, if the O-line was horrible, Perkins would be the best of the three quarterbacks, but the O-line will be decent. Semi-lag, but nothing crazy. Chargers probably pick him up. There's a lot of talk about Trey Lance throwing less than 400 passes in his high school and college numbers. That's kind of weird. You work for Spectrum? Yeah, sorry. It is absolutely terrible. I can't stream the way I used to. It's really bizarre. I don't know why, but I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't have fiber optics. So thank you, Rams and Dodgers fan. I appreciate that. I try my best. I'm glad you guys like it because, man, I just always working hard at it, and appreciate you all supporting. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a great year. The injuries suck. Don't get me wrong, they do. But things are looking, fun, especially for the channel. Really like the direction we're going in. Just to keep you guys updated, we started the day with, I think, 13? No, not 13,000. That would be crazy. 14,296 subscribers, and today we have 14,353. Also today, I don't know if we have the full views for the last 24 hours, but the last 48 hours, we have 75,000 views, which is the most in channel history. So there is, I think we had the biggest day in the history of the channel today, believe it or not. And that's exciting. Because, well, I don't want, breaking news like I had to drop today. Bad breaking news. I do definitely appreciate having content to put out, and I appreciate everybody enjoying the content and hitting the like button and pushing the channel, and it's all great, It's all great. Could see that. Wouldn't rule it out. I think someone will pick him up. Yeah, man, they're just trying to hate on Trey Lance. I keep saying it. I understand there's a lot of Rams fans in here, but you got to be a little unbiased in this. You got to see what the media is doing. They no longer have quarterback controversy because the 49ers brass came out and said that there's not a competition, and so they're trying to overcompensate for that, trying to get a story by forcing shit, and it's kind of annoying, but they'll do what they do, I guess. 15K on the way. Well, I appreciate you, Nolan. All right, so I'm getting absolutely exhausted. All right, I'm getting so tired. I love you guys, but I am absolutely, just driving myself crazy right now because I'm getting so exhausted. But I'm insane. So before I get off here, I want to see if we can get everybody to go on call in. So I'm going to get my phone. I'm going to set up a call in. No, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. I will be right back. One second. All right. Oh. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to call in. Okay? All right. I don't know why that's so small. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's kind of big, but all right. Well, since that, we're at, I think, 70 subscribers now, so it's an older thing. Let's see here. I want to get everyone to do this. Oh, shout out, Rams Dodger fan. Really appreciate you donating. Means a lot to me. Thank you so much. But yeah, don't leave. Don't leave anybody. All right. So this is what we're going to do, okay? I need to get you guys to join this. This is a Rams-centric. It's probably not going to zoom it. Yeah, there it is. So I host a Rams-centric essential radio show, if you want to call it that. And you guys can call in and interact. So this is what we're going to do, okay? First off, I'm going to share the link. If everyone could go smash this link and subscribe, we're at 70. You could subscribe. That would be huge because we do 2 episodes a week where you can call in and give your thoughts. And we have fun. Ask Nolan. Nolan's co-hosted. Rams Beats co-hosted. I don't know if he's in here right now, but he's co-hosted with me. I've had plenty of people co-host. It is a lot of fun. I want to talk to you guys, obviously. It allows me to give, it's more of an extension of the brand here, right? Because right now I'm talking to you guys and I'm, answering your comments, but this allows you to actually talk to me, like on a phone call, but instead it's like a radio show. So we are going live at the end of this show. So if you want to talk, you want to have more content, I'm not saying we'll go live a long time, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, but I'm going to continue this marathon. This is like a Jake marathon today. We are on episode 25, or episode 26 of Rams Edge. And we are going to put this thing in here, and we're going to do that. So, make sure you subscribe. Again, the link is right here. I just pinned it in the comments section above. And we're going to go live right after this. So I'm putting it in right now. Just bear with me. All right. I'm just doing the title right now. And we'll go live right as soon as this ends. So if you want to keep it going, that's how we'll keep doing that. So what's today's date? 20th? It's 10:01, so we'll put it for 10:05. And add a show. All right. So I got Sam Valley just subscribed to Rams Edge. Appreciate you, Sam. Got 71 subscribers. So again, the link is there. If you guys need any help, I can definitely try and help you out with the link. Also going to post it in the Discord channel as well. Let's see. Yeah, big time. Tell him, Nolan. All right. So I'm going to give you the link for the show that starts at 10:05. Appreciate you, Ruiz. So that is the link to the show. Head right on over there right now. Just hit that link. You can join. You don't even need to sign up. Although I'd appreciate if you signed up because then it would be easier for you to subscribe and never miss an episode. But head on over right now. Full send that link. The one I just dropped. And we will go live at the end of this. And we're just about to end it. So. There it is. We are live. See this? We're muted. We're muted. But let's see if we can full send this. We got 45 people in here. Let's see if we can full send. Appreciate you, SG. So anyone could talk at any point. You just hit the call in, and you can call into the show. Anybody can talk on this. This is like Twitter Spaces. And we do this twice a week for Rams. We also do this for the MCU. So if you guys like Marvel content, I also have a Marvel show that I do every Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern Time. So make sure you're heading on over to this. We got 4 live. We're about to end this stream. Go over to this stream. Okay? So keep that in mind. Got 4 people in here. Let's see if we can get more. Again, hit that that link. And we'll be good to go. So that is going to do it. Nolan, I'll see you over there. I'll send you a link. But that's going to do it for me. Hope to see you guys over there. Again, want to see if more people can sign up for that. I'm going to go live for 30 to an hour, and then we'll call it a night for content, and then I'll be back at it tomorrow. So appreciate you guys. You guys take care. Have a great night. And if I don't see you here, I'll see you tomorrow. Later, folks.